Hi Sagis, how are you guys doing? Welcome to Sagittarius Tarot and another timeless reading. Let us begin. We're going to start with the Rider-Waite Tarot and look at your first card. Two of Swords. Look at the Two of Swords. It represents someone with a blindfold, not being able to determine what is the problem and what is the solution. But at the same time, there's an element of balance with these two swords and how they appear to be held by this person, which is telling me that he is or she is weighing down the options, trying to think of all possible scenarios. With the moon here to the right, this is telling you that you need to depend on your intuition in order to find the answer. As much as the swords is a card of the mind, of the logic, the solution somehow lies in the middle. A little bit of intuition, a little bit of thinking. And there's definitely going to be some obstacles with these mountains here, but you'll get there. The thing is, you're just right now very unclear about which option to take. So there is this whole pondering towards which perspective to look at, which option to take, which road to decide on, which belief to believe, which idea to embrace, right? There is here a lot of that sense, and you're sort of caught up in this mental stalemate. Nice. Now we're gonna take the Deviant Moon Tarot and look at your second card. Whoa, another confirmation from the universe. You get the Two of Swords, but in reverse. And in this version, we get a look at two characters that seem to be of equal power or perspective or strength or whatever it is, but it is obvious that each one is different than the other, indicated by the color in here. And so hence there is a stalemate, right? There is two options equally viable and but different in their essence. And here the moon is like in the middle, which is telling that also intuition can lead you both ways. The thing is, this card came in reverse, and from what I can tell, I feel there is like some sort of feeling like you either feel that your mind is playing tricks on you. This is one thing, or maybe one of these ideas might prove to be treacherous, and the other one the right idea or the right way to look at things or the right perspective or the right choice or the right way to handle something. And so this even adds more pressure towards your mental state, right? Because you want to get it right, because one of these options isn't maybe as spectacular as the other one in terms of like how it would affect your life. And also because you feel like, I don't know, there is this mind games that you're experiencing between you and your mind, right? This is like your mind playing some tricks. There's some stuff going on the mind here. Also, with all of this, I might be seeing you like shifting into overthinking, which isn't something that I would necessarily advise you to do, but I see you nonetheless here going into an overthinking mode. And what I like between these two energies is that here there is the element of water with the little rocks, indicating the emotions, the calm emotions, although some obstacles lie there. and the character is sitting on some sort of stone or concrete and a side, like front, beachfront sidewalk or something. And here there's the element of water, and in this one there's a castle in the back, and so there is the element of earth. And so with that, I feel once once you have made that decision, you'll be grounded and fulfilled emotionally, right? Like this will secure both for you. The thing is though, and that's why I indicated also the treachery part, is that if you notice, there's a difference here, because in these two castles, obviously, as much as they're represented differently, just like the two characters, one of them holds the flag, which means there is one other option that isn't the best one for you. Now, will you find it? I think you will, because this came in reverse, and the flag lies on the right, and the moon here rises on the right. And so if you follow your intuition, if you find that sweet spot between your intuition, a little bit of intuition, with a lot of logical, rational, pragmatic thinking, you'll land the best solution for you. Whether it is A or B or an alternative route, it is yet to be seen, but I think this could definitely be like that right option, right? Towards the right side of things, the right turn, the right road. If you're looking at a keyboard, the right part of the keypad. If you're looking at anything, just look at your right, and that'll probably be it. 2 and 2 also is number 4. And while 2 is always indicating a sort of partnership here, like you're juggling ideas, right? You and a choice, you and an idea, that sort of energy. What by balancing, weighing in 2 ideas or 2 options, 2 choices. Combine these 2 cards, make the number 4, and number 4 is a solid number. It's structure and steadiness. And so I see you that the second you find that choice or you make it, it will offer you solid grounding, like solid footing. You're building something here strong. I like it. All you need to do is just, apply yourself there. Now, also with this card here, if you notice, there is black and white, and there is this sort of play on also highlight and shadows and our shadow side and something mirroring us. And this is like giving me the vibes of you taking your light, your power of love and all of that, and trying to descend into the underworld in search of your darkness, right? It's sort of lighting the darkness in order to find the answers there. Something along those lines. And remember that, like, since we're talking about thoughts, that thoughts really do emerge from the nothingness of silence. Your words come out of that void. So I want you to really just be silent, be still, be in the nothing, because there is definitely a choice that is coming out of all this void of stalemate energy. And once you do that, I feel you're gonna embrace your leadership role, and you're gonna have complete zest for a new adventure. Now let us look at how you can move forward with all of this. First of all, I'm going to be looking at your strength, something you're strong, a tool that can help you, where you can excel. Let's look at that. Beautiful. Temperance. And that's you, Saggy. That is you. See, temperance is someone is Sagittarius, first and foremost. Second, it has one leg or foot in the waters, another one on the ground, indicating that you are rooted and connected to the water. And you remember, like I mentioned something here along those lines when I told you here there's the castle, which is groundedness, and there's the emotional part here, water. And so it's funny how this card brought up that energy, because this is really talking about you achieving a certain balance. And if you notice, the angel wings here are down, which means you are doing something ready to take flight, but the flight hasn't occurred yet. And we are seeing and looking here at the magic act of transmutation. You are where like the creature or the person or the character is spilling like water from one container to another, trying to get it exactly right, get the ingredients exactly right, get exactly the right pour, the right amount, the right volume from one container into the other. And this talks about, again, you trying to weigh down all these options, weigh down things. I see you here like strategizing and doing all that. And I think you have really great strength there. Like all you need to do is depend on everything that God gave you as a Sagittarius. All the attributes, all the skills, all the talents, everything you're good with. Use that temperate, moderate energy that you have. Use that energy of where you can make lemons into lemonade, right? Like that's transmutation, where you can take one challenge and turn it into an opportunity, one loss and turn it into a win, one unfortunate circumstance and turn it into a blessing, right? So you have that, and I want you to use that to your advantage, and really you have everything you need to accomplish that once you have figured out what. But it's a delicate process, right? Because even with the Temperance, I told you have to get the right amount. So it's a delicate process to find that perfect new choice or perfect lifestyle or perfect way forward. But I'm sure you will get it right. Now I'm gonna take a look at some of, areas of weaknesses where you can maybe avoid, steer clear, or maybe to work on strengthening them, or lessons to be learned from them. Let us look at that a little bit. It is the Nine of Swords in reverse. And the Nine of Swords usually is someone who is, when it's not reversed, it talks about anxiety and being a worrywart and having all these anxious thoughts and not being able to sleep and overthinking, overanalyzing. But the fact that it came in reverse in this position of weaknesses, this indicates to me that sometimes you, like, as much as Sagis, they thrive on luck and on serendipity and on things aligning for them the last minute, on the net that to appear after they did the jump, and all of these things. And most of the cases, they get lucky. We discussed this in another reading lately that we've done. But with this, it's telling you that, your weakness is sometimes you rushing this process, or whenever you're starting to tap into something, you take complete risks or have faith in certain things blindly, or just start to depend again on your luck while you stop this amazing strategizing exercise that you're doing here. And so I don't want you to be distracted. I don't want you to be blindly optimistic. I want you to always start thinking from a place of, without being too obsessive about it, but like from a place of, okay, so in not the most ideal scenario, right? Instead of saying, ideally, this was gonna happen to me, so I'm acting like this. And we don't have to also say like worst case scenario and be too pessimistic. Find the middle ground and say like, in the most non-ideal solution that this might play out, how can I install a safety net? How can I create an exit? How can I rely on something that's more steadfast and steady when it comes to my foundation? Because that was number 4. How can I make this sustainable? How can I, in the most dire situation that's to come, maybe still be able to survive? And whenever I do have showers of blessings, how can I not just use all of them and leave some for, the bad days, right? So this is all talking about achieving balance. Just don't shift, because you have a tendency, weakness to just be overly optimistic. Don't shift into overly optimistic gears just yet. Now let's look at an additional advice from the tarot. Yeah, you get the Lost card. And so literally the advice cannot be more literal. This is upright. First of all, you gotta snap out of your sadness. If you're too consumed by your grief for whatever you have lost, maybe you have lost a job, maybe you have lost your money, maybe you have spent a lot of money lately, maybe you have lost a game, a relationship, whatever it is. This is telling you to just process the feelings, right? Because staying stuck in that state is not going to be able to allow you to look at the 2 standing cups, which are opportunities that can still be explored regardless of whatever spilled, before. And look again, these 2 are on the right. You remember when I told you the moon is on the right and the flag and the opportunity on the right? Your winning opportunity lies to the right with these 2 cups. And so you need to stop grieving these 3 cups. And how to do that is to go through the 7 stages of grief. Feel them out, feel the feelings, go over all that, and eventually you're gonna look at the right, you're gonna notice the bridge, you're gonna cross the river, you're gonna get to the castle, and you're gonna, drink from these 2 standing cups. And yeah, the advice literally is to, grieve and then move on. Because if you stay stuck in a sad energy, it's not going to be able to make anything of that easier. It's going to only just make your choice even harder and things to be more confusing. Now let's see and talk a little bit about what you want. Like, what is it that you're trying to achieve here? Embrace. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. Yeah. What you want, I feel, is exactly like this card says, is to be embraced or to embrace, right? Depending on which person you are in this equation. Whether this is through a relationship or whether this is regarding your relationship with life, you gotta embrace that. And again, this falls under the Temperance card. So that's why I told you, you gotta embrace moderation. You gotta embrace being grounded and connected to your emotions at the same time. You gotta embrace not flying immediately. You gotta embrace building something. You gotta embrace getting it really right to the nitty gritty details, because Sagittarius often are too big picture and they get lost in the details. They don't want to talk details, but details are necessary at this stage if you want to plan it out right and create something that will eventually offer you the stability emotionally and or financially that you're seeking. I love this. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. Exactly. You're going to feel complete once that process is done. I love this. Nice. Let's look at what life wants from you. Or if we're talking a relationship, the other person. The Devil. And the Devil talks about Sometimes addiction, sometimes obsessive behavior, a lot of times. Also, it talks about passion, being passionate towards things. They sometimes addicted to them, being chained. It's Capricorn energy. And I feel that the fact that it came on from what life wants from you, and it also falls under your weaknesses. Remember when I told you don't be overly too optimistic? The Devil card is the Capricorn, and Capricorns, they build wealth, they do things slowly, routinely, they progress slowly. And so, first of all, life exactly wants you to think like a Capricorn instead of, being overly optimistic. So, first and foremost, you gotta, as much as it can go against your nature sometimes, the universe is asking you to plan, to strategize, to research, to, have your due diligence, to take time in planning this process until you perfect it, right? And it wants you also to be passionate about it. The devil is someone who's passionate about this process. It is passionate towards saving money. It is passionate towards enjoying pleasures of the flesh or anything else. It is, and like it falls literally under the embrace as well card. So here there is a total embrace of that materialistic side. So I really think that you need to embrace that. And from what I can tell so far I feel this reading is talking about your life path when it comes to maybe financial stability or stability at its core, or your home life or something. And maybe lately you have been taking choices that have led you to experience certain fears or instability. Maybe because you were overly optimistic, too optimistic. Maybe because you spent without thinking. Maybe because you're always acting so happy-go-lucky, like we discussed in other readings. And lately, with the astrological weather, you have been handled a very set of tough cards with the eclipse in Aries, and now you're gonna have Uranus-Jupiter conjunction and all of that. It's intense, right? And so maybe things are changing, and because of that, they have put you in front of a conundrum, and now you need to decide what to go next, what to do next. And as I said, the answer lies between the intention and the mind, and it falls to the right, and you're going to be able to create the balance once you embrace the process of taking your time to plan and strategize before you fly. Once you curb your enthusiasm and your overly optimistic, let's jump and then see what happens type of energy, and embrace more a Capricorn, saving your hard-earned penny towards days in the future where it might not be as abundant. Also feeling passionate towards that, loving that aspect, loving money, loving saving, loving making money, loving creating, loving that aspect, loving the stability behind it. Yeah. And if this is talking about a love relationship, this is literally telling you to embrace like a deep dive into your sexuality and into your desires and all of that without overthinking, right? But at the same time, like figuring out what you want first, something like that. Okay, I like this. Let's look at the angels and ancestors. Where is all of this going? Wise one. See, I told you, the cards are speaking to you directly. Wise one, grow within your current situation. So see, there is a lot of growth thanks to all of this. This whole lesson that happened to you, this whole conundrum, this whole predicament, this whole, ever that is, has been teaching you patience. It's been helping you grow within this current situation. It's been helping you achieve being grounded, being balanced emotionally and materially, to achieve both emotional stability and financial stability, to enjoy the process, to slowly mutate things, to recognize opportunities in challenges, to embrace the other person, to embrace help, to embrace life, to embrace slowly building things, to embrace even your dark shadows, to embrace your desires, like your obsessive desire for stability. To it has taught you to not always depend on luck, not always be so carefree, to calculate, to plan, to project. And I like this. I like this one. Grow within your current situation. Here we have the moon to the left. And so this is also telling me that besides your intuition, I feel that this whole thing that's happening is teaching you a lesson also, like, in a, how to explain it? Like also teaching you a lesson, meaning in like helping you develop better strategies, helping you to better plan, right? To develop these type of skills, not just the intuition. And yeah, I love it. I love it. And this felt literally under the loss card. And so this is telling you that whatever you experience is not only not a total loss, it is not a loss. It was put here for a reason, in order for you to grow within all of that situation. How beautiful, Sagis. How beautiful. You are learning to build solid foundations. Thank you for watching till the end. Thank you for clicking the like button. It shows me that you appreciate my content. Thank you for sharing my video by clicking the share button. Thank you for all your comments down below. They help me connect and bond with you. Thank you for everyone who already subscribed. If you are watching this video and you didn't subscribe yet, please click the subscribe Sagittarius Tarot logo at the end of this video or under it. It's for free and it helps my work reach a wider audience. I love you, my dear Sagittarius. Stay blessed, aligned, and connected.